So today I'm going to look at what my net worth is at as a 25-year-old single guy. We're going to just see what it looks like for me, and I know everybody's situation is different, but we're going to look at my unique situation that I'm in and where I'm at for my age to kind of maybe give you an idea if you're in a similar boat of where you are at. But yeah, hit that like button down below, hit that sub button down below, guys. Really excited to get going here. Also, we're trying a new format here where we got the net worth sheet in the corner, and we got most of my face in the camera this time. So, all right. So I use this net worth sheet to track my net worth, guys. It's a master finance sheet. It's got more than just the net worth on it. Also has something like where you can track your home affordability, things like that. This is available in the link in my description for free by joining the Discord. So for limited time, so go ahead and do that if you want to track your own net worth. But let's get into it. So in the month of December, to finish off 2025, as we get a few more days into 2026, we can see that my net worth is at an all-time high. I am at $12,000 of net worth. I have $30,000 in assets, and I have $18,000 in liabilities. And this is what this looks like from the start of this year to the end of this year. We can see that my debt was right about how much I had in assets, and then over time I've just covered that gap more and more of assets above liabilities. So if we go to December, where it says 12,000, we can see that this is $2,000 more in assets than last month, sorry. And then slightly less debt than last month, but really kind of around the same number, 18,000. And if we go to the other values, we can see what we got here. So we can see that of that $30,000 in assets, $5,000 of that is just cash on my bank accounts. $100 of that, and of that $5,000, $100 is in my checking, $4,900, about $5,000 of that is in my reserve, which is a little bit, it's a checking account I have that pays for my bills. So what's in there is pretty much already spent on bills. And then I have $120 in emergency fund, and then $185 in my Robinhood brokerage, which is like another emergency fund I have. So I colored these all red because this is when my emergency fund started to go down slowly instead of increase, started to decrease. So it was slowly getting higher and higher in the start of the year, capped out at about $1,300 in emergency fund. And then starting in June, it started to drop a couple $100 a month from overspending. We recovered in October, but then we dropped back down again. So it's at about $120. That's definitely something I want to increase at in 2026. So then we get into my investments, which is almost 19K versus last month's 17K. So a huge factor in my net worth is my investments. If you guys don't invest yet, you absolutely should. There's a difference in having some savings that you don't touch, that just sits at the same amount for an emergency. And then there's also money that besides your savings that you're investing, which is really important as well, which is money you don't plan to touch for many years, but you also can touch if you have a emergency that goes beyond your emergency fund. Don't recommend touching it, but it's still there accessible as well. So I have 18,000 invested, and I've got 4,000 in my 401k. I have 8,000 in my Roth IRA. My 401k is through work. My Roth IRA is a solo retirement account I started. And then I have $3,600 in my M1 taxable account, which is the one I make videos about here every month on the channel. So go ahead and hit that sub button if you want to be updated on that. And then I have $470 in crypto, like Bitcoin, ETH, and Ethereum. And then properties and cars, my 2020 Hyundai Accent is worth $4,000 when it was worth $4,300 last month. So this is a very conservative number, but I've been in quite a few fender benders. Has a lot of exterior damage, so I get this number by calculating the Kelley Blue Book fair value for the vehicle. And I owe, if we go down to skip ahead to the car note on the Hyundai, I owe $11,000 on it, and it's worth $4,000, so I'm $7,000 in the hole. So I definitely want to get more payments made to that, because if I were to sell it today, or if it were to get totaled, I would be out a lot of money and have no car. So definitely want to get that covered soon. Other assets, we can see here that I don't have any gold or silver jewelry. I do have gold that is stored in a vault for me safely, remotely, and gold's been going up. a lot. So it was worth $1,600 in November. This month it's worth $1,700, and that's been going up. I have not bought any more since really the start of this year. I actually know I did get 2.5 grams around one of these time frames, but it's just been going up constantly. So that's at $1,700, $200 more in gold and silver value than last month. $600 in silver. I just started getting silver recently last month, so that the $540 I spent is now worth $623. And then if we go to graded cards, this is kind of a fun metric. It's not super practical. I do have some highly graded collectible sports cards, and I valued those at about $318. But I put it $106 on here because realistically, if I had to sell them in 24 hours, I would not be getting much money for them. So I put they're worth about $100. And then travel credit card points. At one point, I had a lot of money in credit card rewards. I do not have that now, as I'm kind of leaning away from credit cards, being more conservative with the credit cards instead of going crazy with churning and stuff like I was. I need to bring my debt down. So total liabilities, my debts went from about $19K to $18K this month, and $500 of that was less debt in short term, so credit cards. Instead of having $1,200 on card one, I had $190 owed. I've owed a little bit more on this credit card this month. I owe a little bit more on this credit card this month, and I pretty much paid off this credit card here. So about paid off 2 cards, this first one and this last one, but added a little bit more to these 2 cards. Overall, $500 less in credit card debt than last month. And when I say credit card debt, guys, I've not paid a single interest payment in my life, and I plan to not do so. It's short-term debt, so I run up all my transactions on credit cards, set the money aside that every time I swipe it. So if I swipe my credit card for $30 on gas, I immediately move $30 in my bank account from one account to the next. I've done this every single transaction to date. I have it really streamlined with the Google Sheets app on my phone. So whenever I swipe my card at the gas station, open up the app on my phone, takes 30 seconds, slide up across the number across from one sheet to another. And I've just become really used to doing that in the moment. So this is money I have. It's just a matter of I need paying it off, getting it off the cards. And then Hyundai Accent car note. Again, we already went over that, but I owe a little bit less on the car. So now instead of $12K on the car, I owe $11K on the car. And I have no medical debt. I paid that off several months ago, so really excited about that. And again, all in all, it's an increase. It's a peak for the year. My goal was $10,000 in net worth to end the year. We hit that back in October, had a minor dip in November, but brought it right back to business in December. So really, really excited about that, guys. And with it being $12,000 in net worth, if we take away my wife's 401k, I'm still at 10K. I'm still at 10K in net worth myself alone, unaffiliated with my wife. So really excited about that. And then the last thing we'll do is we'll look at the net worth graph. This is where we're at for December, ending off 2025. This is where we started in 2024. Way back in 2024, we had almost $15,000 in debt. So you could see in the span of 2 years how quickly it can change when you pay off a student loan, when you pay off a vehicle. I managed to pay off one of the 2 vehicles right around October. So you can see we took a massive swing into positive net worth when I got one of my big debt accounts paid off. So it's totally okay if you're in your 20s and you're around this area. It's because you got student loans. You're trying to build up your career still. I understand all that. I managed to sell off one of my vehicles, made a hard decision early, even though it was a perfectly running vehicle. I didn't want to have to owe the amount of debt that I did. I wasn't comfortable with that level of debt on vehicles, so got rid of it, and it helped boost me to positive net worth earlier in my life than I think other people my age. And then this is an important number that I also am not going to hide. This is a cash to credit line ratio. So this line right here means that I am spending what I have. So when this blue line dips underneath this center black line, it means that I have more on my credit cards than I can pay today if I wanted to pay them all off today. So this is a dangerous thing that I'm dealing with, and I need to be careful about this. So we can see that let's say in May, right? I had $1,000 above the line. That means if I were to pay off all my credit card debt, I would immediately have $1,000 to spare. But in some months, like July through September, I was negative about $1,000, which means I was waiting on, I get paid about $2,000 a check. So that means I was about 1 week behind in spending. I was spending 1 week ahead of the real money I was making. Not good. I want this to be clear that that is living beyond your means, and I need to hone that in immediately. And that's one of the reasons why I am lowering my credit cards. Instead of having 5 at the beginning of the year, I now use 3 of them, and I'm getting down. Thanks to some great advice too from you guys in the comment section. So October we were back good, but then dipped low in November, really low, and then we're headed in a good direction in December. But yeah, don't live beyond your means. Keep your cash equal to what you're spending. Yeah, definitely be careful, guys. So again, I'm paying it all off on time just because the sheer timing of my paychecks, but that's a dangerous game to play. So we'll not be playing that much longer at all before it gets bad, because I know that in my own experience, my family, it's gotten out of control with my family members, and I will not let it happen to me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button down below, hit that sub button down below. Tell me where you guys are at. So out of 25, I'm at about 10K in net worth as a 25-year-old with very minimal debt. I have no student debt. I have 1 car payment loan. I do not have a mortgage yet in my life, just pay rent. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.